Welcome to this explainer. You know, a pristine, bright blue pool looks completely clean and serene on a hot summer day, right? It's just a perfectly inviting oasis. But that calm surface, it's actually a brilliant Trojan horse. What we're diving into today is how that crystal clear water is, in reality, a microscopic battleground.
Okay, let's dive into this. I really want you to reconsider that perfectly clear water for a minute, because just beneath the surface, there's this unseen chemical and biological chaos happening. It's a super delicate, high-stakes balancing act. And when it goes wrong, it can secretly ruin the pool's chemistry, wreck its physical structure, and honestly, even threaten your health.
So, the first major culprit we have to talk about is cyanuric acid, or CYA. Think of CYA as essentially pool sunscreen. It's a chemical byproduct introduced by stabilized chlorine tablets, and it's meant to protect your chlorine from being immediately burned off by the sun's UV rays. But it is the ultimate double-edged sword. It acts as a vital protector, sure, but it secretly builds up in the background to become a massive systemic threat.
Here's our roadmap for this explainer. First, the cyanuric acid trap. Then, chlorine slowdown and plaster damage. After that, the hidden biofilm fortress. And finally, handling extreme pool chemicals. We're going to tie all this chemical balance, microbiology, and hazardous material into one cohesive story.
All right, Section 1, the cyanuric acid trap, protector turned threat.
Now, while CYA does do a fantastic job of guarding against those UV rays, it absolutely has to be managed. If it isn't regularly diluted by draining and replacing some of the water, it escalates dangerously. The accepted industry standard sweet spot for cyanuric acid to keep chlorine active in an outdoor pool is right around 30 to 50 parts per million. Actually, at just 25 ppm, it provides plenty of UV protection, and pushing it much higher really doesn't offer a ton of added benefit.
But here is the number shock, because residential pools are constantly adding stabilized chlorine tablets, meaning they're adding more CYA without draining the water. These levels can easily, and frankly terrifyingly, skyrocket to 300 or even 400 parts per million. And let me tell you, that is exactly where the real trouble starts.
Moving on to Section 2, chlorine slowdown and plaster damage, the chemistry going wrong.
Now, what's really interesting about this is that high CYA isn't just some harmless buildup. It physically breaks down the very chemistry of the water. High CYA completely skews your total alkalinity readings, which is what you use to balance the water's pH. Because cyanurates show up in the test but do absolutely nothing to buffer pH, you've got to do some math. To find the true calcium carbonate equivalence that actually stabilizes pH, you must subtract 1/3 of your CYA level from your total alkalinity reading. If you skip this step, you're inadvertently creating highly corrosive water.
And it gets even wilder when we look at automation. Oxidation reduction potential, or ORP probes, measure active sanitation, but they only take a still picture of the water. They entirely miss the chlorine ions that are temporarily bonded to the CYA molecules. So because the probe thinks the chlorine level is too low, it tells the system to just pump in more and more chlorine. This leads to massively wasted money on chemicals and potential breaches of the EPA's maximum 5 ppm limit for chlorine.
As if that wasn't enough, studies from Arch Chemicals revealed something completely crazy. At incredibly high levels, especially once you get past 100 ppm, the CYA actually leaves the water entirely. It literally falls out of solution, attaches directly to the pool's plaster surface, and begins to physically degrade and destroy the plaster itself.
Okay, Section 3, the hidden biofilm fortress, unseen threats in plumbing. So even if your water looks perfectly clear in the basin, there could literally be an armored microbial fortress lurking just out of sight inside the plumbing. This biological progression is fascinating. When water becomes stagnant or circulation drops, free-floating microorganisms attach to the wet interior walls of the pipes. Once they're attached, they secrete a protective layer called an extracellular polymeric substance, or an EPS matrix shield. This acts exactly like physical armor, allowing the bacteria to mature into a complex, highly protected community right there inside your pipes.
So the crucial point is, this biofilm isn't just gross, it's a genuine hazard. This matrix shelters dangerous pathogens that can cause respiratory illnesses and skin infections, stuff like Legionella and Pseudomonas. Plus, because it's actively living and breeding inside the pipes, it rapidly consumes your pool's sanitizer.
This causes that super frustrating unexplained chlorine demand, persistent cloudy water, and stubborn odors that standard surface treatments just can't touch.
That brings us to Section 4, Handling Extreme Pool Chemicals, Waging Chemical War.
To fight these hidden threats, a light brushing just isn't going to cut it. We have to bring in the heavy artillery. You might think of pool shock as just a simple powder you toss into the water, right? But the reality is intense. Calcium hypochlorite is a Category 2 oxidizing solid. It is explosively reactive, it's highly corrosive, and it demands incredibly strict safety protocols when you use it as a biocide and oxidant to break down things like biofilm and algae.
And this brilliantly illustrates the terrifying reality of its hazard profile. Think about these warnings back to back. On one hand, it may violently or explosively intensify a fire. On the other, it causes severe skin burns and eye damage. Oh, and if this chemical comes into contact with an acid, it literally liberates toxic chlorine gas. No joke.
Furthermore, this chemical carries extreme environmental toxicity. It's highly toxic to aquatic life, so handling it isn't just about personal safety. It requires rigorous care to ensure it is absolutely never released into the environment unchecked.
Because of these incredible hazards, the handling instructions read more like a manual for defusing a bomb. For instance, if you spill it, you must never use an organic absorbent like sawdust or a cloth to clean it up. Mixing this oxidizer with sawdust can literally cause spontaneous combustion. It has to be kept away from all combustibles, handled with full-face shields and chemical-resistant gloves, and always stored locked up under highly specific temperature controls.
Let's move to and see how this builds into an actionable defense plan so you can actually win this battle. First up, physical dilution is the only reliable way to control your CYA levels. You just have to drain and replace some water. Second, consistent pipe circulation is absolutely required to stop that biofilm from attaching in the first place. Third, if biofilm does form, you need to use specialized enzymes and surfactants to break down that EPS shield. And finally, whenever you use the heavy chemicals to sanitize, strict PPE and handling protocols are 100% non-negotiable.
We've covered a lot of hidden science today, from runaway chemical levels literally eating your plaster to armored microbial fortresses thriving in the dark. It totally changes how you look at that calm blue oasis, doesn't it? So I'll leave you with this. Knowing what you know now about cyanuric acid, biofilm, and the extreme chemistry required to balance it all, what's actually circulating through the pipes the next time you dive in? Thanks for joining me on this explainer, and I hope this empowers you to take control of what's hiding beneath the surface.